Hey everyone, it's Mike from Rogala Photography here. I have a update on the new Lightroom Classic updates that Adobe just released this past week. I've already reviewed the generative AI and the remove tool, and you can check out that video up here on the top here. You can go over there. It's also in the description as well. And I said in that video that I would play around a little bit with the lens blurs. I wanted to see exactly what they did. And I mean, they didn't really do much with the lens blur. I think what they did is that they improved the engine that controls the models for the different lens blurs. That's the big one. And then they also added some presets, which I will go over in a second. But I already did a few quick edits here. Um, I just did some basic edits and then I did some sharpening over here and I did a little bit of cropping and then I just did a mask on the subject to kind of bring out the deer a little bit. Um, but if you come on over here to the lens blur, you could see they removed the early access badge. So it's a full-fledged feature in Lightroom Classic right now. So that's good. That means they pretty much got a lot of the bugs out. Now it's not 100% perfect. You might get a little bit of blurring and halos and stuff going on there, but I mean, for the most part, considering that you could take an image that has zero blur and add the background blur to it. So if I come on over here, now this image has a little bit of blur. I did shoot this with a telephoto lens. I think this was shot with the is it the 7200? Yeah, it's a 70 to 200. I had it stretched out all the way to 200 millimeters. So it's the Canon f2.8 RF version. So there's a little bit of blur here. Again, not a ton. This deer was probably like about, I don't know, 20, 30 yards away from where I was standing, give or take. But if I come on over here and click apply and let it do its thing, it's already added the blur to it. And I can come on over here. I can increase this blur, give it a second or two to do its thing. Um, and then you can see it's a stronger blur. And then if I want to crank it all the way up, I could crank it all the way up. And there you go. That's pretty much it. Now I can kind of bring this forward a little bit here. So let me see. I think this is this way. And you just got to be careful because I got the deer right there. So I don't want to blur up any of the deer. So if I come over here, okay. You see, it took away some of the blur from the back and it moved all the way to the front here. So I'm going to go back over to here and yep, there we go. That's what we wanted. So now if we move the focal range a little bit, we can definitely get much more blur. But now you got to be careful because now you can see the deer itself is blurred. So what I can do is I can bring this back up a little bit and then move this forward right about there. And we zoom in and the deer is fine. Now again, you see a little bit of haloing stuff going around. So I probably would not boost it up that high. Okay. And then over here you have your different bokehs. You got your circles and your hexagons and half circles and stuff like that. And then over here you got your visual depth map. So you can click on that and you could see that the orange is everything that's in focus, and then the purple should be out of focus. And so if I were to move this, you can kind of see what's going on here. Anyway, that's it. Now, the other new feature that they added over here on the left-hand side, if you're in your develop module, you'll have your presets. They added an adaptive preset for blurring the background. So you can go from subtle. Now, if you look where I have the out of that real quick, where I have the blur amount right here. So it's at about 68 right there. I can click subtle. Okay. And now I drop the way back down to 30. Okay. And I can click strong and now I shot it back up to 90. Okay. And then you have circle, which I don't really think works too well with this particular photo. I think the circle would work very well for like if you have lights in the background, if you have like a lot of neon lights, a street photography scene, something like that. Over here you got bubble. Again, you can see over here, click to the bubble. Circle, it stayed over here on the circle. Geometric, it came on over here to the geometric hexagon or pentagon, I think it is, whatever that is. I think it's a pentagon. Then you can come on over here to the ring. Okay, and again, we really can't see any of this only because, I mean, this one you can kind of see a little bit, but I think it's just because of the background I have in here. If we had lights in the background, we got swirl, okay, which is basically the half circles. Personally, I just kind of prefer the circle, and then you also can reset the blur back to where it turns it right off. Okay, so basically, what these adaptive presets do is just tweak the settings to what Adobe thinks is the perfect blur for that particular setting. And again, you can still tweak them, so you can actually I can come on over here and I can put strong. Okay, you can kind of see it, put a strong blur on it. But then let's just say I want to back it off to back here to 69. Okay. So now you got before and then after. There we go. There's after. Or- It takes a few seconds for it to kick in, but so again, it's not a perfect tool. You always want to try to get your bokeh or your bokeh, sorry, I shouldn't say bokeh, it's bokeh, um, or your background blur in camera. So there's two ways you can do that. You could do a wide open aperture. Okay, so 2.8, 1.2, 1.4, 1.8, whatever. Also, another way to do that is with a telephoto zoom lens. Okay, so with the 70 to 200, the more I zoom in, the more it's going to compress the background. Okay, and then also same thing with a larger zoom. So I also have a Sigma 150 to 600 contemporary. When I zoom in with that lens, the background really gets blurred. Okay. Even though I'm shooting at an aperture of like, I think it's like 6.3 or something like that. It still compresses the background because of the zooming in and all the elements in that lens. It's caused the compression. Okay. So there's two ways of getting your background. Now you technically have a third way if you would like to do it with AI. So there you have it. Lens blur in Lightroom Classic. I believe it is 13.3. Also, this is also in the regular Lightroom version for your computer. It's in Lightroom Mobile, and it's also in Camera Raw in Adobe Photoshop. So you have plenty of ways that you can add lens blur um, to your photos. Okay. All right, guys. Take care. We'll catch you later.